Welcome to On Approach, your go-to podcast for expert insights in general aviation, proudly brought to you by AirMart. AirMart is a family-owned and operated aircraft brokerage that has been serving the aviation industry for over 50 years. We provide everything you need to make buying, leasing, or selling an aircraft simple and rewarding. Visit airmart.com to learn more. Our podcast discusses the latest trends, tips, and industry developments that matter most to pilots, aviation enthusiasts, and industry professionals. So buckle up, tune in, and get ready for a smooth descent into the exciting realm of On Approach.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast, On Approach by AirMart. Today, I am here with two of our key sales executives, both Tate Preece and Savane. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Glad you're here. All right, guys, we are here to discuss the amazing BeechBash in the Bluegrass that happened in 2024. We're going to recap that. We're also going to discuss some of the beautiful attributes of the Beechcraft series and all of the nuances of that famous aircraft that we all enjoy. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. So the BeechBash in the Bluegrass in 2024 happened in April in Madisonville, Kentucky at the 2 India 0 airport. Attendance was above last year and continues to grow. It's become quite the event, quite the popular event. And so we're going to talk about some of the interesting things that happened at BeechBash in the Bluegrass. And so we're going to discuss some of the key highlights. So Sav, at your attendance at the BeechBash in Bluegrass, who were some of the people that you met that stood out to you?
Sure. Happy to talk about that. BeechBash, wonderful event put on by Sam Gerges out of Florida, but he's got ties here in Kentucky as well. It's a star-studded event as far as aviation goes. Martin Pauly of YouTube, November 70 Tango Bravo. Mark Baker, president of AOPA. Scott Perdue from Flywire. Tom Turner from American Bonanza Society. There's a lot of heavy hitters in the industry that are in attendance. And, of course, a plethora of Beechcraft products.
Nice. Sounds like a very good turnout. Some notable people in the industry definitely were there, especially in the Beechcraft community. Tate, who stood out to you in attendance at the BeechBash, other than who Sav's already mentioned?
I met a couple of customers. It started as soon as I shut down the airplane and climbed out. Met Emily there, and one of the guys helping Emily said, Tate Preece, kind of questioning me, and I said, yeah. And he said, oh, this is Matt. I won't use his last name, but somebody I've been talking to, and right out of the gate, knew quite a few people there. Walt Dodge with Kelly Aerospace. Kelly AC was there. Makes some phenomenal pulled pork. Yeah, just a lot of familiar faces.
Barbecue was there. I missed out on the barbecue. I love some good pulled pork.
If things don't work out at Kelly, Walt has a career as a pitmaster.
Yeah, he pulled up an official 14, 16-foot smoker and knew how to use it.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds delicious. Sounds very good. And of course, what did you guys show up in at the BeechBash?
Well, I showed up in a Cessna 206.
So we're not going to hold you against that, Tate, but I understand some people may choose a high wing. Those that are looking for something that doesn't have retractable gear, that may be selling their Bonanza, a 206 is a logical step. So good choice. Always thinking about the potential sale and the future of the sale. Sav, what did you go in?
So I showed up in a very nice 60th anniversary edition 2008 G36 Bonanza, November 554 Papa Mike.
Wow, sounds like a very nice airplane. If you're going to go to the BeechBash, you better show up in a Beech, right?
It's advisable, yes.
So, see, Tate's prospect even came up to him, even though he showed up in a Cessna. So That's good. That speaks volumes. He was recognized even though he wasn't flying a Beechcraft.
If it's any consolation, I left in an F-33 4956 Mike that we have on the market. Very nice paint job on that airplane.
Very nice. So we had 3 aircraft in attendance, a G36, an F-33, and a Cessna 206. Excellent. All right, very good. So Tate, back to you. What would you say one of the most significant things that you learned during this event?
It's more about who we saw and what we did and how the event was put on and what fun it is.
Learn about any new products or any new product developments or hear of anything?
So GAMI has been present there, and of course they're doing a big push for their G100UL unleaded aviation fuel, and they are on the cusp, or they've already gotten approval. I guess they have got approval of the STC. So that unleaded fuel works in any and all piston reciprocating engines that currently use 100 low lead. So quite the accomplishment. That's been a big push for them. So interesting to hear about the progress that they make there.
Neat. Okay. Well, that sounds exciting. Tate, you want to come back to what you learned? Anything you want to go back to that point, or you good to move past that one?
I'm going to move past that.
All right. Next, he says, all right, what was the most fun? Tate, we'll come back to you. What was the most exciting thing you saw at the Beach Bash?
They had a lot of flyovers and air shows. A lot of formation flight going on with some Beech 18s. Even had a Huey out there. So that was definitely a highlight of the weekend.
Yeah, the good old Huey, though.
Exactly. The Huey was the photo ship.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
You knew it was coming.
Event organizer Sam hopped in and they fired up. Would you say 60 seconds between when we saw the rotor start turning and they were airborne?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they didn't let it warm up very long at all, and they were in the air.
Yep. And then they proceeded to maneuver and snap photos of all the Beach Bash attendees lined up there on the ramp that the Madisonville Airport invested in last year, just before the second annual Beach Bash. And yeah, everyone was positioned there next to the Beech 18s for a big group photo.
Cool. I saw some of the pictures of the Beech 18 doing the low passes. I mean, they seemed pretty low. Was it really as low as it appeared?
It was pretty dramatic.
It was pretty low. Yeah, there was 3 Beech 18s in the show.
Yeah, I was wondering, because when I looked at the picture on Facebook, I was like, is that really that low, or is it maybe just an optical illusion? But it was, in fact, that low. Huh?
Yeah.
They did a low pass.
Cool. Well, if you're going to do it, legally you can do it over at an airport, right? That's the place to do it.
Exactly.
So, all right, very good. Any other personal stories that you'd like to share about the Beach Bash?
For those that are considering attending in future years, which you absolutely should, because it is an absolute blast, plan to stay for the weekend. Sam jam-packs this event with things to do all day long. You're around fellow aircraft owners, fellow enthusiasts of all walks of life, living all over the country. We had a couple Canadians fly down.
Wow.
Last year there was a gentleman in attendance from France. So
international event.
Yep,
not just a Kentucky thing, nationwide and international. Wow.
Exactly. So, a highlight reel from the third annual Beech Bash in the Bluegrass. They screened Top Gun on a large blow up projector screen, and that was positioned in between the two Beech 18s. So Thursday night they were watching Top Gun 2. The mayor hosts at his farm, great barbecue. Get to shoot a Kentucky long rifle, drive all over the land, do some skeet shooting, live music. It's quite the event. They had a concert at the airport. That was really good. Good music.
Yeah, very good music. Professional stage, like they did it right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
safe to say, craft beer and bourbon.
Yes.
I would hope so, right? And I heard things might have gone with a bang as well. Was there some fireworks to be had?
Yep. They concluded the evening at Mayor Riddle's farm with a massive fireworks show. It was impressive.
That sounds like quite the event. Tate, anything you want to add to that?
They put a lot into it. This was my first year in attendance. I was blown away at how well done it was just all the way around. Everything was thought about, from the food to the music to parking. They had it handled, and this definitely wasn't their first year doing it.
No, it sounds like they did it all right. So they got airplanes, they got aircraft owners, they got live music, they got bourbon, they got beer. What more could you ask for? Fireworks, things that go boom, right? Low passes. If you're an aviation enthusiast, it sounds like it's the place to be.
Absolutely. Yep. More than 250 people in attendance this year, more than 120 aircraft. So please put it on your calendar. Last week of April, Beech Bash in the Bluegrass.
Sounds great. Well, I think we covered that very well. Since we're here, we're talking about Beechcraft. I thought we'd transition to just a quick little general discussion. All of us have some of our favorites of the Beechcraft. So the legacy of the Beechcraft Bonanza goes very, very far back all the way to 1947 was the flight that were the first certification of the Bonanza. So flight took obviously far sooner than that, but the Bonanza has been through many different legacies and iterations. You've got the V-35 Bonanza, the F-33s, the A-36s, so a whole host of different types of vintages of aircraft. As far as where we are today, the most popular models are going to be your A36s and G36. G36 still in production. So with regards to that, and of course the G58. So you have those two aircraft that are still in production and still popular. Some of the big improvements that they made during that lineage was obviously some engine changes they've made. They made changes to the IO 550, which was a big help. They've transitioned from steam gauges to the G1000, G36 Bonanzas. That's been huge. So any big refinements that you can think of as through the years that have come about, Sav?
It's always been a tasteful upgrade as the lineage has continued on. So they're improving on what has remained the platform has aged very well. Let me phrase it that way. So they're taking a product that it's really amazing. You know, we're talking about before computer aided design and whatnot. What has largely remained unchanged. I mean, they hit the nail on the head in 47, and they've just continued to improve upon that. You know, I would compare the Beechcraft legacy to that of other great companies that have been producing fine items like Rolex. You know, it's just continued to be refined to what it is today, which I think is the pinnacle.
Yep, always has a very certain level of prestige. Always with
absolutely.
the Beechcraft product, I would agree. And Tate, I guess you would agree with that as well, since you do sell that product line in the Beechcraft line. So anything you'd like to add to the whole Bonanza series as it kind of grew and evolved?
Yeah, they call them the Cadillac of the skies for a reason. I was in an airplane, A36 that we have on the market this morning. Went to Winston-Salem and back. So got about 4 hours in an A36 already today. So just a blast to fly. They're a dream, what you think an airplane should feel like in the air. I think 84 was a big revolutionary change for them. That's whenever they redesigned the panel. The airplane got a lot more ergonomics, and we left all the old designs behind. Really made it a modern airplane with the split yokes, the 550 engine that you mentioned. And you can't go wrong, like Bangaly said, or Sav. It's kind of like Rolex. They keep making it better and better and refining it, but at the core, they got it right the first time.
Yep. And I think that really helps hold the value of the Bonanza line. You know, people are like, oh, you know, what's going to happen with the economy? What's going to happen with the value of the planes? But you know, we all three of us, as we go through this every day, we talk to the consumers, we talk to the end users. These are all handmade aircraft, and the quality of craftsmanship that goes into it, and the generations of people that have built them. They can't just hire 20 people and say, go up the production line. They're all handmade, and they're made, you know, in single to double digits a year. That's it. So as far as value and retention, good old supply and demand always plays a key role in the value of these fine quality aircraft. So you're never going to run into a situation where there's just going to be so many airplanes overproduced. So whether it's a Bonanza or Beechcraft, whether it's a Cessna, they can't just crank up the production line and double the production numbers. You know, if they could eke out another 1 or 2 airplanes a year, they'd be doing good. So that really helps with the value, is that the fact that they're all handmade, and they're not, you know, made by machines. They're all handmade aircraft. So I agree with you, Tate, on the innovation for the 84. That was a big year when they changed and they had that throttle quadrant was in the center and the control yoke was through the middle of the panel. That did make a big difference in the whole layout of the plane, and that was pretty impactful.
Yep.
All right, so let's move right along. Speaking of wonderful aircraft like the Beechcraft Bonanza, currently on the market, AirMart has several A36s for sale and G36s. Right now we have a beautiful 765 Bravo for sale by Sav. Sav, you want to talk about that airplane that Tate took for a ride today?
Absolutely, I'd love to. So this is a beautiful 2003 A36. Basically represents one of the last A36s made. We just did a great avionics upgrade, bring it into this millennia. Newly installed GTN 750 XI and GTN 650 XI. That's paired with Bendix King's KFC 225 autopilot, a 3-axis autopilot that has aged very, very well. Great performance from what you would expect of a modern digital attitude-based autopilot. So this plane, low time, 1,300, just over 1,300 hours on the airframe, under 300 hours since major overhaul by Power Masters. Factory air conditioning. It's a comfortable ride for you and 5 friends.
Sounds very nice. Sounds like a nice airplane. Tate, how did it perform today?
Flew great. Had no issues with it. Ran nice and smooth and cool. And the autopilot, I would agree, it's well above well ahead of its time whenever it came out. It's fully attitude-based, digital. It's got native GPSS steering. It just works like you expect it to.
Nice. So those avionics upgrades we did, were those nice to have today?
They were, yeah. Had some weather getting back into Lexington, and it was nice to see it on the 750 and all the traffic. Funny story, I was coming across the mountains there right at the border, and ATC said, hey, just be advised we got F-16s in the area. I don't have them on radar.
Nice.
And he said, just use caution. I wasn't in an MOA. Thought that was kind of odd. About 3 minutes later, I looked down. There was 2 F-16s ripping up a valley at about 500 feet.
Wow. Very cool. Always nice to see that when you're out there. See Air Force or Navy or whoever else out there working to protect us out there. All right. Very good. We also have a 554 Papa Mike G36. Now, did you fly that to the Beach Bash? Or no, you took the 206.
I was in the 206, yeah.
Saw flew your G36. You guys are flying each other's airplanes.
It's good. Helps us sell them.
Absolutely. So what was 554 Papa Mike like? So was it a nice airplane?
Oh, it's an amazing airplane. So some unique interior accompaniments. Obviously, Garmin G1000 paired with the amazing GFC 700 autopilot. And being the 60th anniversary edition, it's got some unique interior features. So yeah, very comfortable ride. Plane performed flawlessly. Back to the refinement of a Beechcraft. It's just so consistent. That gear retracts and extends in the exact interval that you'd expect it to. I think eyes closed, you could fly any Beechcraft and know immediately what you're in.
Absolutely. They're a very by-the-numbers airplane. Approaches, everything else, 16 inches of manifold pressure. You're going to fly glide slope right on down. No issues. Yep, definitely enjoy them. Great aircraft. Well, thank you for that. And yeah, with the 60th anniversary, you do have all of the specific badging that's in throughout the aircraft.
Yep.
Noted. So that's a nice little feature as well. Of course, both these aircraft have no damage history and can be found on www.airmart.com. So we do have those available on our website. Feel free to contact Tate or Sav to get more details about those. And those are just the 2 that we featured. We do have many other aircraft. We've got V-tail Bonanzas, and we also have an F-33, several F-33s for sale. So we have quite the selection of Beechcraft to choose from. So please peruse our website, contact Tate, who handles the Beechcraft inventory. He'll be happy to walk you through some of the wonderful traits and characteristics. So, gentlemen, without any further ado, we'd like to wrap this up. Do you have any other comments or anything you'd like to add to the closing? Sav?
No, I think it was a fun summary of what is really an iconic line. So, yeah, keep the Beach Bash and the Bluegrass in mind. We'd love to host you in our home state of Kentucky. That's a really fun event. And for anyone considering or with additional questions on the Beechcraft line, give us a call and we're happy to talk to you about it.
Sounds great. Tate, anything you'd like to close? Or
yeah, we know a lot about Beechcraft here at AirMart. We love selling them, and Grant has owned them as well personally. So if you've ever heard anybody talk about flying a Beechcraft and how refined they are, but you're curious for yourself, give us a call. We might be able to put you in one, talk about flying them and what they're like. For most people, that is the pinnacle of their aviation journey, and I think that's for a reason. It is, in my opinion, the ultimate single-engine piston airplane, and I'm really passionate and excited to show that to other people. So give us a call if you're curious about them. We'd love to talk to you about them.
That's great. And Tate had just made me think about some nostalgia with my father. I'll never forget when I was 13 years old, and my dad had the first 55 Baron to sell. And my mom took me out to the airport. It's like, hey, your dad just got this 55 Baron. He wants to take us for a ride in it. And I'm like, okay, well, that sounds like fun. I'm always up for a plane ride. Always love to go with my dad anywhere we were going. So we get out there, and he's like, look at this amazing Baron. This is such a great aircraft. It's so much fun. You can't wait till we go fly it. So my dad was always really nice, and even at 13 years old, he'd throw me in the left seat all the time. So he put me over in the left seat, and we took off and buzzed the house, flew over the neighborhood. It was just an absolutely amazing dream. I'll never forget when he looked over to me, and he said, son, you've got it made when you own a Beechcraft. So ever since then, it was always a dream to own a Beechcraft of some variety. And since then, I've been fortunate enough. We've had A36s in the family and 58 Barons, and they really are a great addition to any family and a great traveling aircraft. So thank you for that, Tate. Appreciate that little memory unlock. So thank you all for listening to us. Thank you for joining us in this podcast. And as always, you can see our aircraft for sale at airmart.com. And feel free to give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about it. And thanks for listening today.
Thank you for tuning in to On Approach, your go-to podcast for expert insights in general aviation. Join us next time for another smooth descent into the exciting realm of On Approach, proudly brought to you by AirMart. AirMart is a family-owned and operated aircraft brokerage that has been serving the aviation industry for over 50 years. We provide everything you need to make buying, leasing, or selling an aircraft simple and rewarding. Visit airmart.com to learn more.